Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Devil May Cry 5. We're still running around as this guy with the cane.
In some countries, he's known as V.
Yeah, you know, countries that know how to pronounce the Roman alphabet, I suppose.
So wait, when you see V, do you immediately think V, or do you say 5? Are you one of those that pronounce it as Mega Man 5 or Mega Man V?
Well, there is a Mega Man 5 and a Mega Man V, so...
It's true, but Mega Man 5 is spelled with a numerical 5, and V is with a Roman numeral 5.
Yep.
But it's pronounced V.
Yep.
Now, hang on. What mission was this again? Oh, wait, I think I know why I came back to this mission. I was like, wait, this is a tutorial mission. This is an earlier mission. Is this an earlier mission? And I was trying to remember why the fuck I'm back here. Because it's been, like, literally a year since I recorded this.
Ooh, nice dissolve.
Why did I go back there? Well, I was looking for something. It wasn't there.
That explains why this is a 16-minute part as opposed to 3 hours.
I was looking for something and it wasn't there. But I did actually want to show that I know how to play as V when the chips are down. So I decided to keep that little clip in at the beginning.
The Bellatra video was several weeks ago.
What?
You said chips. I thought it was like, no, we're not playing Bellatra anymore.
The Bellatra video was 40 minutes ago, John.
40 minutes ago? No, because that's an April Fool's video. And wait, I know what you're doing.
Anyway, back to what we're actually doing.
Not that I was barely even noticed. You know, you should go.
I can't tell whether Nico is actually like a lesbian or bi, or if she said that specifically to mock Nero. It's impossible to tell with Nico.
Well, I always got it as if she was mocking Nero. I was like, naked lady in the van. What would Kyrie think?
I like to think it's a little of both, though.
Yeah. Gilgamesh.
It's just like there's a later scene where Lady just like drops the cloth when she's getting up, and Nico turns around to look, and I like to read that as a little bit more than shameless fan service. Like it's Nico turning around and she's like, oh, that would be a fun interpretation of an otherwise shameless scene. Oh, right. So Gilgamesh, this boss, I want to say it sucks, but it doesn't actually. You know why? What I said earlier about big bosses being one giant hitbox that you can just climb by jumping applies to Gilgamesh as well. So if you have enemy step, you can absolutely just climb this boss whenever you want. If you don't have enemy step, this boss fucking eats, though. Because, like...
You can stay on top of this dude for a significantly long time, though, as long as you manage to jump and avoid the spikes.
Yes.
I think that is the only reasonable way you are getting a high rank in this.
Gives you major Shadow of the Colossus vibes.
I don't have the skills to do that, unfortunately. But what I do have is enemy step. Which means I can do stuff like that. But the way you're actually supposed to... What is the way that you're actually supposed to
You're
get up
supposed
there?
to use your arm to grapple up to the top.
No, I mean, like, I haven't done this without enemy step in so long that I forget what you're supposed to grapple up onto.
The points, there are joints, the little things on his legs that you were actually just targeting before he got farther away. You're supposed to use that, and you just yoink your way up there.
Okay. I mean, the ones that I've attacked are so close to his feet that I don't see how they would be useful in that context. But
because gravity tends to just kind of does its own thing. Yeah, look at that. What you just did right there. That's how you're supposed to do it.
The fuck?
It doesn't make any sense, but it's Devil May Cry. Nothing makes sense.
Okay. Why did you do that, Gilgamesh? What were you hoping to achieve?
Maybe it wants to die.
Wait, is he still going after V during this whole boss fight? Is that why he keeps slamming on the ground? Is he trying to...
a nice attention to detail. I always figured this fight took place after the V fight, though.
Well, the thing is, you actually do, like, in the middle of the boss fight, he does break through the floor, and V is fighting down there. It's one of the games starring the DMC crew moments.
I forget, because, like, that combo that you're doing where he's repeatedly slamming on the ground, I hear Exceed going off. Are you manually hitting the trigger doing that for every swing? Or is that something that automatically happens?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've been playing as Nero for so long that even though I can't get the timing down perfectly, I do manually hit the trigger with every swing.
Yeah,
I just don't always do it right.
Yeah.
I don't always do it right. If you're hearing it more than usual, I might have gotten XC2 or XC3 by this point. I forget. It does seriously help if you can get XC3, though.
Every expert DMC player has major calluses on their fingers.
Oh, starring the one true nobody. That means it's recorded my gameplay and is showing that down below when you see V. So maybe it's just me fumbling around, getting lost. I like how Dante and Nero just have no respect for Griffin.
I must press on.
Like, none whatsoever. My favorite moment is when Dante just grabs Griffin by the face mid-sentence and just throws him off screen. Like, shut the fuck up, I'm the only one who's allowed to say stupid dialogue around here.
He gets a great line, though, towards Dante when he is powering up or unlocking Sparta's true potential, because he does that by stabbing himself with the sword. And the bird is just like, what do you think you're doing? Like, we're in the middle of a crisis, kill yourself later.
I'll help.
Yeah, I'll help.
Yeah. I actually completely forgot this. If you have the Buster Arm, you can use the Buster Arm on the grapple points, and it just instantly breaks them. And that is also a fast way to beat Gilgamesh.
The Buster Arm is also the closest you have to having your regular, like, arm, because with it you can do the special grapple maneuvers.
Yes. The thing is, though, that's also a function that the Buster Arm had in DMC4, is that sometimes you could just do the Buster, and it would have an effect on an enemy even if it didn't succeed in a grab. One of the obvious ones is that when you're fighting Credo, you can Buster his shield, and even though it looks like he blocked your grab, it does significant damage to the shield when you do it. So you actually want to spam the Buster at his shield to break his shield more quickly.
If I recall correctly, Credo also has a projectile, like, lance attack that you can grab and throw it back at him to immediately, like, destroy the shield.
Attacks that you can grab to toss them back at the boss?
Yeah.
That is another thing that comes back in DMC5. Although the only one I can think of off the top of my head is the one in the Virgil fight. When Virgil decides to be, like, a real drama queen and fly around the arena for, like, 5 minutes before dive bombing you, you can absolutely catch his dive bomb, and it transitions directly into the Buster throw.
I think... I'm drawing a blank because it's been a couple of years since I played DMC4. But the frog dude, the frog boss.
Yeah, that one.
I believe has a unique grab attack too, where I think like you do something with like the tongue, and you just fucking like Hail Mary that son of a bitch.
Yeah, you pick them up and throw them, basically.
Okay, yeah.
The thing about the bosses in DMC4 is that they tend to have multiple buster throws based on how you grab them. Like with Burial at the beginning, you could grab him from above and slam him down, and that would put him in his stun status, from which you could then do the second buster throw from the ground where you punch him up into the air. So obviously the play is to, you know, hit him with a sword combo while he's stunned but still up, hit him with the buster to slam him down, do another sword combo while he's down, and then finish off with the second buster. You could do a ton of damage to Burial that way. Really fun. And then you have to fight him as Dante, and it's just like, where did all the fun in this boss fight go? I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Ladies away. Got any questions for her? Better make it fast.
Wait, why would I have to make it fast?
Yeah, it was like, where does she have to be?
Is she gonna fall asleep again?
Yeah.
Well, you know, she was used as a potato battery by a bunch of demons. Maybe she is about to fall asleep again.
Sure.
I like how Nero actually goes for the tin can and stuff. It's just like, what did you think she meant?
Well, but she's also not being helpful either. She's just like that one. It was like, can you tell me what it looks like? Like, for God's sake.
I love these two dumbasses though. They just man. I hope we see a lot more of them in Devil May Cry 6.
I had no idea that I was commentating with royalty. It's Lewis, the Whiff King.
Man. You know, there are a million different red orb bonuses you can get in the ranking screen. None of them matter. Like, not a one of them matter. But it's always fun to see which ones you got at the end of a mission.
So what happened to him and Trish? They end up like you?
Ah, that's right. Lady is the first one that you actually rescue from the boss.
She was captured. I remember that.
I'm just surprised that Virgil let Lady live.
Damn it.
Like, why? Why would you do that? She's not even a demon. She's just a human.
Yeah, we know. We're just waiting on
That's like using a real common-grown earth squirrel as fuel for a badnik instead of a flicky. Why would you do that?
Okay, I wasn't sure where you were going with that until you said flicky. I was like, okay, Sonic reference.
Well, I mean, that's what Urizen does, right? He sticks Lady and Trish inside boss monsters like they're the badniks. And somehow, when fighting them, Dante and Nero managed to not cut Lady in half somehow. Like, Trish would have survived being cut in half, I'm sure, but, like, Lady, no. She's just really lucky. Like, Nero had no idea that Lady was in there when he fought that boss.
Does she still have the multicolored eyes in this?
Yeah, but it's a bit. It's like well, it was always a bit muted, even since 3. But like, it's not as easy to see the colors when you look in her eyes because the realistic style and the shading makes it like yeah, she's got 2 different colored eyes, but the lighting is pretty dark.
So start digging. Come on.
Dude, I just got out of a flicky coma.
Got something to wear that's good for digging?
Oh, can you believe the uproar that occurred when we found out that Lady's butt was being censored by a lens flare before release?
Abrams?
It was another one of those goddamn woke Sony bastards censoring our games uproars. And I'm just like, well, you know, does it really matter?
You still
No.
gonna pretty much see everything but the main part.
Like, also, I was like, do you need it to be exact to help with your imagination of jerking off to her? Like, isn't that the entire point of your imagination?
That's what model rips are for, my friends. Anyway.
And you're going to have a rude awakening when you find out those models don't have any of the tidbits either.
Well, I mean, there was an uncensored version of that cutscene that people had seen beforehand. Which is why they said it was, which is why they called it censorship, you know, because the cutscene had existed without that in the first place. But it's like, you know.
Yeah, most of the time when they say censorship, what they really mean is I can't jerk off to it.
Well, you got a lot of people talking the high and mighty talk about changes being made to the art. But in all honesty,
I have yet to run into someone who made a compelling argument about keeping artistic integrity without it coming off as I can't jerk off to this character. Because more often than not, they suck at making that argument.
I mean, neither have I, because it's a bunch of like a lot of the time. I'm not talking about everyone who ever opposes censorship on principle. Comment section, thank you.
I want to make that clear too, but it's just like from my experience, every time I've seen someone I made that argument, it always eventually delves into that.
Most of the time, it reads like they're repeating the smart sounding argument because they can't make the smart sounding argument themselves. Is the problem? So, anyway, I've upgraded our Buster Arm slots, so now I can carry a whole 5 arms with me. That would look really funny if they were all shown on model, but unfortunately, Nero's model only shows a few devil breakers at a time. So, Rawhide is a particularly fun one, though. I can't wait to show that off because I feel like Castlevania Lords of Shadow has made its second coming whenever I use it. And I'm not going to explain what that means. See you next part, everybody.